Very quick update from Chops Garage and what we've got going on at the moment. I know I've been a bit weak in getting content out recently. One people keep asking about is the Thesis. She's still here, still the same. Got a run in, drive in, taken her around the block a few times. I've got to get it registered now. I did try and sell it as is because I just wasn't getting any time to do anything to it, but everybody kept asking me, have you got documentation, blah blah blah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it registered. Someone's helping me out with that, getting it through the Nova, so I'm going to get that registered and get it in for an MOT probably, and then I want to have a bit of fun in it, a bit of a drive around in it if I get the time to go through the rest of the bits and bobs on it. Excuse the noise in the background. Some other stuff I haven't got through. We got a Porsche 911 in on a category N non-structural, which put together. Unfortunately didn't put any content together on that because it's my mate Stu's car that owns the unit. But yeah, got that Cat N in. Bit of a score on that one. It literally had the IMS bearing done, tyres, suspension, brakes, pads, you know, a month before the accident. So that was a bit of a score, that one. Still got the two cups hanging around, which everybody asks about. What we've got project wise at the moment, I had this little Citroen C1 in as a category N, which strangely enough isn't coming up on the HPR register as a cat at all. Came from an insurance company, had a bang on the wing, front corner. I've rattle canned the wing, blended it into the door, into the pillar here, into the bonnet. I think that's come out quite nicely. It's only done 34,000 miles on a 2010. Cracking little car. So I did do some content on that, but I think I lost it, to be perfectly frank. But that was a really easy one from Copart. Really easy car to do. I think I've got about £1,100 in this car now. Definitely a 2.5er, I would have thought. Great little first car for someone. Picked up one of these Dacia Sanderos without any damage from BCA. To be honest, there's not much to say about it because there's nothing I can really do to it. It's come out as mint. I expected to have a few issues, but it came out as mint. I've driven it around a couple of days. It's a good little car. I know people take the Michael out of them, but if you want just a form of transport just to run around in, value for money wise, they're cracking. Got this little Fiat 500 Twin Air in, which I got from BCA as being a runner, a driver, but it's had a wrap on it which has been really badly taken off and taken the paint off in a few places, so we've got to try and sort that out. Wouldn't start the other day after running fine for a couple of days, just would not start, which is really weird. Thought it was all the big things like the multi-air unit, that kind of thing, but charged the battery up, started her up without the spark plugs in. She blew those fuel out, put the spark plugs back in, turned her over, and she got better and better and then ran fine again. So I don't know if these things can actually flood or something, whether it might be something like that. So yeah, as I say, I don't know if these can flood. We don't do a lot of twin airs. We tend to stick to the 1.2 Fiat 500s because we know they're bulletproof reliable, and we have had some twin air problems. And we nearly wrote this one off as being a big problem, but like I say, pulled the spark plug, turned it over, shot the fuel out, put it all back in again, chugged it, started it over again, chugged along, and then fired, and then run fine since. I've just driven it home and back myself, and yeah, drove great. So yeah, just got to get around it, get all this old wrap off of it now, sort out some of the scrapes. I don't think it's ever going to be an immaculate car. It's got a few dents here and there, but it could be a cheap car. Twin airs of this age, it's got 80,000 miles on 2012. They do tend to go for about £3.5 grand. This one we're into it for about, I think, yeah, £1,800. I mean, I can put it out at 2.5 as it is once I've tied it up, because it's got a new MOT on it already. Tied it up, just set it on as a cheap little runner as it is. So do have another Dacia in as well. I don't know really why I bought this one. Just one of the things I saw at a Copart come into light a bit more. It's a 2016 Dacia Stepway that I saw at Copart, and when I looked at the accident damage on it, I'll maybe insert a shot now. The accident damage on it, I've had these before where they're category S's, which I normally avoid, where all it's done is tweak the lower panel behind the crash bar a tiny amount. And it was a Dacia Sandero Stepway, like I say, a 2016 diesel with 80,000 on, but I bid 1,400, and I won it, which I think is really cheap. Fortunately, when it's turned up, you can't quite see, and it's like me get a torch. Give me 1 second while I get you a torch, guys. My array on the shelf here. Yeah, unfortunately when it turned up, my gamble didn't quite pay off. It's had a bit of a harder knock than I thought. It's actually pushed the wheel well in. So whatever hit it went in low and pushed the wheel well in. So I did think about just sticking it straight through because I don't have pull-in equipment. But I've decided to give it a go. So what's turned up today is I've got a hydraulic body frame repair kit and a pull-in ram. Now all this kit cost me about £250. Now obviously if I went to frame guys to have them pull it, it'd be far more than that, I would have thought. Plus, if I can make this work, I've got this for future projects as well. And it isn't a massively comprehensive job to do. So we'll be welding tabs on the bottom here. You're probably using the ramp over there to put a chain to, and then we're going to pull this out as far as we can and see if we can get it straight. If we can't, I'll basically cut the seam, drill the spot welds out, put a new wheel well in it. But obviously if we can pull it out and straighten it out and get it to shape, ideal, because it doesn't have a spare wheel fit in there anyway. It just has the little kits. Got a new bumper on the way already, which is the same colour, and I've already got a new crash bar for it, so we'll see how we get on with that one. So what else we've got on? We've got this Alfa Romeo Spider being stripped down for a full paint job. Engine's being rebuilt as well, all being done at once. And then it leads us to one of the first things I had on the channel. Sorry for the light down here, guys. The Mgb Gt, my Sebring project I'm building for myself. So both, I think in the last video I showed both wings are in. But what I haven't shown you is that I've got the fiberglass door on. So, decided to go fiberglass door in the end. So I got the fiberglass door on. That was a bit of a game. They aren't really made to made the best, I wouldn't have said. I've got a fiberglass boot lid as well. I've slightly over trimmed that. I thought there was more of a lip than there was, so I'm going to have to repair that. But I've got a fiberglass boot lid, got a fiberglass bonnet to go on as well. I am doing the other door over here. I'm just having to fit it in between other things. You're going to have to excuse a pile of crud I've got on the door. But I'm doing a door here, and what I'm doing with them is, just get this other stuff out of the way a second, is I wasn't happy with the points at which my colleagues left a load of crud on it. The points, so for example, where the winder mechanism attaches, where the door handle mechanism attaches, I just wasn't happy with how thick the fiberglass was, so I've been plasma cutting out the parts out of the old door and bonding them on, and then actually putting a whole hinge section in the front of the door here. So I've been cutting that out on the other one with the plasma cutter and bonded it into this door here. I was trying to show you on the other one because I just wasn't happy. There's no fittings provided at all to put the two hinges through the doors. No fittings at all other than these holes here. And on the Mgb the fittings actually are back here and the bolts go through like that. I was worried about positioning and also worried about strength, so I thought I'd just plasma cut the old ones out. So if there is enough light over here to show you guys, I have, there isn't quite enough light to show you I don't think. I've actually put the whole, let me get you a torch a second again. Got one over here. So what I've done is bonded and riveted with tiger seal and with rivets the actual original hinge from an Mgb door, steel door, onto the oh, turns out that torch was a crud one, into the door. It's covered in crap at the moment, but basically that's the old door hinge bonded into the fiberglass door. I'll tidy all this up obviously, but it means I've got exactly the same positioning as I had in the original. If you look, it's shutting quite nicely even before I started tweaking. So I'm going to try and get the other door done in between other bits and bobs over Christmas. I'm hoping to have a few days to myself to do stuff. So that's where we are. Second part of this video has been filmed a little bit later in the day. But yeah, so we've got a thesis out there. Nothing's really happening with that. If anybody has any interest, let me know. So thanks for watching the videos, guys, and my ramblings and my poor lighting and my poor camera work. Hopefully all that will improve in the new year. I've got a lot of projects on. I will try and remember to film more of it as I go along. I'm hoping to make some big steps with the MGB, because I do want that ready for the summer to have some fun in that. My Suzuki Cappuccino is at home, along with my MGB Roadster. They're both at home, but I have got, walk you through, now I've got them upstairs. I have got a new gearbox and a new differential for the Cappuccino. Good new used units for the Cappuccino to improve the drive on that, because second gear was a bit of a game, and also the diff was wearing a bit. But I'm hoping to get an N1 ECU for it as well, so that we can have a bit of fun, get the power up on it. So as always, guys, thanks for watching the videos, thanks for listening to my rambling, putting up with my poor lighting, and the fact I keep forgetting to film parts of the content. I will look to improve on that in the new year. Lots of projects to do, lots to be cracking on with, but the MGB has got to be a priority. I want to get that ready for the summer, so I must get the rest of those panels all on and start doing some body working on that, and then get the engine from the engine builders, get that over into that. So I hope you all have a good Christmas and a good new year, if I don't post anything more before then. Cheers.